What's going on, Nerd Army? It's time, guys, once again for another Arrow review. This episode of Arrow was titled Restoration. Now, this is a very fitting name for this episode. Well, before we start, spoiler warning. If you guys don't want to hear anything about the episode, there will be spoilers ahead, so turn this off, come back after you watch the episode, and watch my review. So, getting into spoiler territory, here we go. So my favorite parts of this episode were a few great ones. First of all, Double Down and tries to kill Damien Dark. Don't worry, per Damien Dark's request, try to kill me. So he throws his badass fucking car just like, I'm like, holy shit. Damien Dark's so, catches it, spins it around, tosses it from hand to hand, spins it on his finger, and Double Down's just like, holy shit. And then takes his card and throws it at this chick Fiat that Diggle's looking for. So Fiat is the lady who hired Deadshot to kill Diggle's brother. So that's the client. So Diggle's got his first lead in 2 years on this case, and turns out that Damien Dark just killed the bitch. Then they leave her body with a playing card in her mouth for Diggle and Oliver to find. And I want to know how the hell they knew they were looking for her. But, I mean, they probably knew because she got attacked. But it was kind of crazy, an uphill, downhill, crazy roller coaster ride this episode. But one of my favorite parts, I have to say, is when we get to see another step into Mr. Terrific. So if you guys don't know, Mr. Terrific is the guy that's working for making the inventions for Palmer Tech to try to bring them out of their slump. And Felicity has kept him and everyone else on their jobs and kept their jobs going so they can make a vast improvement, and he's in charge of creating the gadgets to change the world so Palmer Tech can use it to get the company back where it was and to its greatness. Well, there are some cool little gadgets they show sitting there, but the one that stands out to me is the T-Sphere. So if you guys don't know, Mr. Terrific, the comic book character, carries the T-Spheres. They are awesome, and he kind of mentions it in there that it's like a location device, but it blows up. Yeah. T-Spheres are gangster, so it's just one more step towards Mr. Terrific, and they actually have the T carved out on the freaking front of them, too. I was like, oh my god, those are so awesome. I'm going to have to find me the prop. I'm going to have to make me a T-Sphere just because they're cool as hell. I'll put it on my shelf. That's awesome. So when I saw them, I was like freaking out. My wife's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, it's a fucking T-Sphere. Are you kidding me? That's just awesome. So another really great part of this episode was the fact that Diggle and Oliver still have their heads up their asses, and they're still not getting along, and they're still not having each other's back, and they both almost die. They almost get killed, both of them. Diggle by some Hive members, and Oliver by fucking Double Down. But they didn't. And they get back to the Arrow Cave, and Felicity's there, and they're arguing about different shit. And Felicity's like, no, this right here is where I'm going to talk, and you two are going to listen. Like, is that understood? Oliver's like, huh, but she's like, no, is that understood? Like, crazy Felicity just got nuts. Felicity's going to be a good as fuck mom, maybe to Ronnie Raymond, but she's going to be a good mom, and she puts her damn foot down when it needs to get put down. She just handled that shit. Put those two motherfuckers in their places to make them talk their shit out. They're not going nowhere till it's all good and dandy and they love each other again. So they kind of open up and they argue a little bit, and then Diggle opens up and says he wants to trust Oliver, and Oliver's like, just give me the chance to earn your trust back, man. Just give me the chance. And they go and he tells them all about Hive and his brother's killer and who hired Lawton to kill him. and all this crazy shit, and gives him the whole rundown and says, I'm going to try to trust you now. We're going to go somewhere right now so I can work on trusting you. And he does ultimately, because Oliver takes a metahuman skin flying throwing card in the chest for him, and Diggle's like, you took a bullet from me, man. He's like, actually, it was a metahuman skin flying throwing card thing. And he's all, same thing, Oliver, it counts. Oh, okay. And now, back to Mr. Terrific. I am excited that they have Mr. Terrific eventually going to show up. Hopefully in superhero mode this season, but we never know. But the one thing I'm not digging about this is if you guys do not know, Mr. Terrific is basically the Tony Stark of the DC Universe. He is like one of the top 3 smartest people in all of the DC Universe. He knows everything. As we saw in this episode, he was pulling out references and dictionary quotes and everything from everyday conversation. He was mentioning little things, something that caught his ear, boom, he tells you all about the history or whatever. He is insanely smart. And yes, he figured out, because Felicity took him downstairs, figured out that Felicity's working with the Arrow because she basically just fucking told him. And I'm surprised he has not put 2 and 2 together. Out of every person that saw that TV broadcast, he would probably be the one person that could say, holy shit, like, I know that jawline, I know that face, I can picture, that's Oliver Queen. He could have, like, known that shit. He is that damn smart. He has, like, an eidetic member. He is just ridiculously smart. That's just my little rant on Mr. Terrific. But, guys, this episode had one of the coolest parts. So Thea and Laurel take Sarah's body and go to Nanda Parbat and ask Roz to let him use it on her and ask him to fix Thea. And it turns out he tells Thea that you're not broken. You just have, when you come back to life and you use the Lazarus Pit, you're going to get a little bit of every one of the people that have ever used the Lazarus Pit in you. So that's where she gets this bloodlust. She has to kill. If she kills and gives into the bloodlust once in a while, she'll be good for like 3 weeks where she won't have a bloodlust. But she has to kill someone every once in a while. Otherwise it's going to drive her crazy and she's going to go on a fucking killing spree and kill people. The bloodlust is just going to win out in the end, guys. So she basically is like freaking out about it. And he's like, you know what I'm going to do to get my daughter's guilt, conscience clear of this guilt? I'm going to use the pit and bring Sarah back. And he tells her, we've never brought anyone back. Like, Thea was not dead. Thea had just died. But the pit's never been used to bring anyone back. And even in the comics, I think the pit had never been used to bring anyone back that had been dead further than a year. Anything past that, crazy fucking circumstances would happen. So, because we didn't get John Constantine in this episode, and I'm pretty sure he's in episode 4, from what I remember, which is next episode, now that Sarah's brought back and fucking crazy, and she doesn't have her soul in her body, they're going to use John Constantine to attach her soul back to her body. That's my guess. What do you guys think is going to happen with Sarah, and how do you think they're going to handle the situation? Do you like my Constantine theory? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Make sure you guys hit that like, thumbs up button if you would be so kind. And make sure you smash that subscribe button to keep up with me and all the Arrow reviews I do every single week, guys. I'm Andrew. You have been watching Nerds Merized. Peace out. Hey guys, if you like what you saw and you want to see more, make sure you go click that big, sexy subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time right here on Nerds Merized.